I occasionally work with a group called Pacific Wild and a guy named Ian McAllister who runs Pacific Wild, and I just love everything they do up there. So my hope is to go up there and get a distant look at a spirit bear.
Ryan Reynolds might be trapped in a maze of secrets. Yet these speculations exploded into the open when lawsuits, behind-the-scenes feuds, and unexpected leaks sent shockwaves across Hollywood. Everyone from die-hard fans to seasoned insiders was left asking the same question. What in the world is really happening with Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Blake Lively? Stick around, because the rumors you've heard might only scratch the surface.
About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just like jamming These Dreams by heart. Oh. I was killing it in the car. And there was just this busload of high school kids that were parked right beside me. I didn't even realize. I looked over and every one of their jaws were just on the ground, laughing their friggin' guts out.
For years, Ryan Reynolds cultivated an image of quick wit, boyish charm, and a flawless marriage to Blake Lively. But even the most polished reputations can develop cracks under intense scrutiny. One of the earliest fissures began with playful, on-stage interactions, comedic kisses with Andrew Garfield, offhand jokes with Jake Gyllenhaal, and public spats, or teases with Hugh Jackman. At first, everyone shrugged these off as comedic brilliance. Then, the same pattern kept popping up, fueling hushed questions about whether Reynolds was quietly signaling more than just a punchline. The rumors gained more bite when people noticed a curious pattern. It wasn't just comedic timing or showmanship. Sometimes these bromances took on a sharper edge. Observers saw layers of meaning in the affectionate jabs, the public ribbing, and the occasionally tense behind-the-scenes stories that began trickling out.
That is also accurate and weirdly high praise as well. It was just one of those. It felt like a live-action Pixar movie. It was something that, I wanted to do something where nobody was being stabbed in the face.
Yes.
There was almost no blood at all. I think I got a little paper cut on the movie. That was about it. And something that my kids can watch, but also as a parent, too, you want the parents need to get punched right in the heart as well.
That's when Hugh Jackman's name entered the mix in a bigger way. Suddenly, fans wondered if the Wolverine actor was covering for his friend, or possibly throwing him under the bus. Yet nobody realized exactly how complicated things were about to become. Because while friendly banter can make for great headlines, the real storm was looming in the background, tied to a major lawsuit that might destroy carefully built facades. Behind every Hollywood production, there's a labyrinth of deals, contracts, and personal politics. An entire ecosystem just waiting to combust. When word spread that Justin Baldoni, who directed It Ends With Us, was taking legal action against Reynolds for alleged defamation and contractual interference, interest turned into full-blown fascination. Fans didn't expect Ryan Reynolds, beloved for a string of comedic hits and philanthropic gestures, to face accusations more typical of a cunning Hollywood power player.
Yeah. My relationship with my father, which was very complicated and difficult. My dad was a very, I come from a middle class, kind of blue-collar home, and my dad was just of that generation, where it's just he was Clint Eastwood, less is more.
Baldoni claimed that Reynolds not only damaged his reputation by calling him a predator, but also meddled with contractual agreements. The phrase alone, predator, lit up the rumor mill. Did Reynolds genuinely believe Baldoni was guilty of something sinister? Or was this all part of a private dispute gone very public? Whichever the case, the suit demanded answers, and it implicated more than just Reynolds. It dragged Blake Lively, Hugh Jackman, and an entire production into territory nobody was prepared to navigate. On top of that, the cryptic AEO label, Attorney's Eyes Only, became a tug of war. Blake Lively's lawyers were desperate to keep certain documents sealed, arguing they contained details that might devastate not just her career, but also third-party reputations. The judge's decision to partially limit these AEO designations cracked open the door for many more revelations. In show business,
I always thought I'd end up in law enforcement, like my family. So I didn't imagine that acting was a way to get out of the house.
The biggest stars often flex their power to shape scripts, control narrative angles, and sometimes rewrite entire storylines. Ryan Reynolds was hardly the first actor rumored to wield such influence. However, the allegations that he used extortion tactics to influence It Ends With Us soared above the usual Hollywood gossip. According to various insiders, Reynolds inserted his own creative touches in ways that might have overshadowed Baldoni's directorial authority, leaving the entire production on shaky ground. The question lingered. Were these simply star-driven, tweaks for comedic effect, or a manipulative attempt to reshape the story to fit Reynolds' personal brand? Candace Owens, never one to mince words, jumped into the fray. She implied that Reynolds' need for control extended far beyond comedic flourishes, suggesting a more intricate agenda possibly linked to his rumored private struggles. While no one ever pinned down the exact changes he demanded, the scenario painted Reynolds as someone fiercely protective, not just of his public persona, but perhaps of hidden facets he didn't want exposed.
I'm really excited, but as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm lucky that I get to work in this industry, and particularly incredibly fortunate that I get to work in it this long, but I really want to work with people that are either immensely talented or people that I love and that I'm genuinely best friends with. And unfortunately, Hugh does not qualify as either of those, but I am excited because I'm a Logan fan. So, and then that covers Will Ferrell as well. That's a guy that my entire life, I feel.
Hugh Jackman's involvement, originally meant to be a brief cameo or casual contribution, soon ballooned into something else. Legal documents hinted that Jackman became a pivotal figure in depositions, with details possibly tying him to knowledge of Reynolds' confidential motivations. Whether intentionally or not, Jackman found himself right in the crosshairs of drama he initially thought would be a simple professional favor for an old friend. Hugh Jackman, forever iconic as Wolverine and beloved for his Broadway flair, suddenly faced a new wave of speculation. His decades-long marriage had ended, leading to swirling rumors about his own private life. Was he actually a hidden piece of the puzzle in Reynolds' controversies? Some tabloids depicted Jackman as a friend forcibly yanked into legal depositions, a victim of Reynolds' behind-the-scenes chaos. Others suggested a darker possibility, that Jackman might have had a personal axe to grind. Matters only got thornier once fans heard Jackman had anonymously leaked key documents to a public figure known for stirring the pot. Allegedly, he even fed Candace Owens tips to intensify the scrutiny on Reynolds. What on earth could motivate someone as affable as Jackman to sabotage a longtime friend and collaborator?
I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not it's not just hey, there's the person and we move on. It's they're there for a reason.
Yeah. And you said it just earlier, but I wanted to go back on that. You think that this might be the greatest film that you've...
Look, most of the time when the movie is this much fun to make, you got bad.
The simplest theory, self-preservation, Jackman's own brand, and his ongoing Marvel presence were at stake. If he sensed that Reynolds' legal tangles could taint his own reputation, he might have decided to sling mud first before any of it spattered on him. Jackman's recent divorce poured gasoline on the speculation. For years, tabloids floated rumors about his private preferences, eyeing the age difference between him and his now ex-wife, or pointing to onstage kisses he shared with male co-stars. Hollywood watchers asked if Jackman's public persona had a few secrets of its own. If so, maybe leaking damaging details about Reynolds was a calculated distraction, shifting the negative spotlight away from Jackman's personal life. Through all the swirling suspicion, Blake Lively found herself wrestling with enormous personal and professional pressures. She built her career on a persona of elegance, down-to-earth humor, and wholesome charm. Now, attorneys circled around, her tying her name to lawsuits that threatened to fracture the couple's squeaky clean image. From depositions to hush-hush documents, Lively watched as the public conversation pivoted from her acclaimed roles to her potential knowledge of her husband's controversies. Insiders whispered that the tension at home was palpable. Anxieties were said to run high, especially with 4 young children in the picture.
I just thought we'd done everything, and I swear to God, we hadn't done Logan yet, but I said, Logan's going to be my last. I knew what the script I was excited about. I thought this is going to be perfect.
Some claimed the couple was spending extended time apart, fueling rumors they might already be separated, or even headed for divorce. Lively, for her part, seemed desperate to confine the damage, pushing for certain revelations to remain under AEO seals. It was either that, or risk having the unfiltered truth explode across social media and tabloids. Whether those documents contained references to her private life, her husband's rumored secrets, or delicate issues involving third parties remained a matter of speculation. But the seriousness of her legal maneuvers suggested a real fear of scandal on a career-ending scale. The drama reached a crescendo when an anonymous leak published alleged text messages involving Ryan Reynolds. Although the messages featured jokes and playful banter, some watchers found them downright revealing. They pointed to phrasing and context clues that many believed hinted Reynolds was privately wrestling with his identity, particularly when it came to those recurring gay jokes in public skits. From comedic kisses to deliberate innuendos, fans had always chalked it up to Reynolds' brand of humor. But the leaked messages raised new questions. Why, people asked, Did he seem almost compelled to keep up the bit? Why so many references, sometimes borderline obsessive, about male-on-male flirting in comedic settings? Vocal critics like Candace Owens latched onto these texts as proof Reynolds used ambiguous theatrics to hide in plain sight, while also marketing himself as a progressive, open-minded star. The real shocker, the texts allegedly mentioned a best friend who turned on him, giving the press direct lines to exploit. Given the swirl of depositions, a big chunk of the public pegged Hugh Jackman as the prime suspect. The notion that these two superstars, famous for roasting each other on social media, might be dealing in behind-the-scenes betrayals was enough to send fans reeling. No Hollywood dust-up is complete without high stakes, and this tangled saga might be the mother of them all. Ryan Reynolds could lose more than just money if defamation allegations prove true. He risks tarnishing a brand he spent years perfecting. The comedic, self-deprecating leading man routine works only as long as people believe he's genuinely likable. If it emerges he was using manipulative or extortive tactics behind closed doors, that shinier veneer could crumble. Meanwhile, Hugh Jackman's Marvel gig has already faced rumors of a shaky future. If depositions reveal him as a conspirator or an underhanded instigator, it won't just be a matter of social media backlash. Major studios could get cold feet. Hollywood runs on trust and profitable partnerships. Once that trust erodes, roles can vanish in an instant. For Blake Lively, who has built an impressive career and a carefully curated family image, the risk might be the greatest of all. Her attempts to keep explosive secrets under wraps signaled she has something enormous to protect. If the public learns she was complicit in any behind-the-scenes manipulations, or if more intimate details surface, the damage might be irreversible. For now, speculation and half-revealed truths hang in the air. Did Hugh Jackman orchestrate those text message leaks to protect himself, or to settle an old grudge? Could Ryan Reynolds be concealing a deeper part of his identity, using comedic flair to dodge direct questions about who he is off-screen? Are the rumors of a looming Reynolds-Lively divorce more than just hearsay, especially with attorneys frantically trying to shield them from public scrutiny? Even more intriguing is the possibility that all these threads, lawsuits, rumored closet doors, bromance publicity stunts, converge into a single hidden motive, preserving Hollywood illusions. Tinseltown is no stranger to well-managed public images. Stars spend fortunes on PR teams who spin narratives to keep fans enthralled. But as this story shows, even the best-managed facades can implode under legal pressure and personal betrayals. Hollywood watchers and curious onlookers continue searching for the next piece of evidence, the next slip of the tongue, or the next leaked message that could expose the final puzzle piece. With major lawsuits ongoing, depositions pending, and offhand comments stirring the pot, the end of this saga is nowhere in sight. In the end, the real question is whether any of these people truly anticipated just how deep this rabbit hole could go. From Ryan Reynolds' cheeky winks at controversy to Hugh Jackman's divorce and rumored hidden life, every layer peeled back only reveals another layer beneath. The fairy tale image of Reynolds and Blake Lively, once the envy of Hollywood, now stands on shaky ground, with lawsuits, swirling rumors, and public illusions crashing together in spectacular fashion. This entire spectacle is a testament to how quickly even the brightest stars can fall victim to controversy once the public sees behind the curtain. In a realm where fame and perception rule, a single leak or one revealing lawsuit can shatter reputations with alarming speed. So, as watchers on the sidelines, we can only keep our eyes on the twists and turns yet to come. And remember that in Hollywood, the official story often hides the most unbelievable truths. And if you think this is the final chapter, you might want to reconsider. Because the way things are going, tomorrow's revelations might be even more jaw-dropping than today's. Stay curious.